Hey guys, it's Michelle Kaplan from All Ears English, and welcome to All Ears English TV on YouTube. All right, guys, today we are going to be talking about what to do when you are super excited to say something in a conversation, but other people are talking and you don't want to interrupt. Okay, guys, so let's get into it. So we've all been in this situation. It can be super awkward. You're listening to a conversation, usually in a group, and everybody's talking, everybody's excited, and you want to share something. You want to share a special story, and you're really excited to share your story or your opinion or whatever it is, but you don't feel that it's appropriate to interrupt in that moment, right? So, we've talked about this. Interruptions are a normal part of conversations in English, especially with groups. It happens. It's okay. But what you don't want is to be the person that seems like they're never listening, right? You don't want to be the person that makes it seem like, oh, what you have to say is the most important. And so therefore, listening isn't that important. So listening is key. All right. So, but what can you do in this moment? You want to share something, but you don't think that it's the right time. Okay. So here are my tips. So the first tip is don't stop listening. This is what I was touching on earlier, right? So really make sure that you listen to the other people in the conversation. So maybe this is your strategy. You just say, you know what? I'm going to just listen and I'm going to see what happens. So it might be that you end up forgetting your opinion, or you end up deciding that it's not relevant to share that story, right? Because maybe the conversation takes a turn in another direction. But guess what? There's opportunity there as well, because you may not share what you were going to say initially, but you may share something even more special in that conversation if you just stay listening and see where the conversation goes. So that's my first tip, is really just say, I'm just going to listen and see what happens, right? So that is a really useful one that I do all the time. Okay. The second tip is, if it's really important what you want to say and you don't want to forget, give yourself a physical reminder. So if you're on the phone or something, you could, of course, write it down. Or, you could just cross your fingers, right? Or you could kind of like pinch your leg, or just some way twirl your hair to remind yourself, okay, I have something to say. So while you're doing that physical reminder, you are still listening, right? Don't forget to listen. So, but then you will remind your body that you have something to say. And then when it's your turn, you can say, okay, now I remember I wanted to jump in and add this, right? My third tip is not about physical things, but it's about choosing a word to remember. So if you choose a word to remember, like let's say people are talking about, the city life. They're talking about their experiences, going to, restaurants, going to the park, all these different things. And you realize that you have a really funny story to share about your dog in the city, right? But you don't think that this is the right time to interrupt. So in your head, just say the word dog, right? Every so often, dog. And while you are doing that, make sure that you are, like we said, still listening, but you are giving yourself that reminder, right? In your head with the word dog, right? So you don't have to remember, oh my gosh, what was the story about my dog, right? It may not always be that easy to remember everything, right? But at least that one word will help trigger your brain to really focus on story about my dog, but at the same time, listen. So you don't have to, think about so much at the same time, because I've been in these situations where it's stressful. You want to share something and then you're trying to remember the whole story, and then you don't end up listening. Okay, guys. So remember, my 3 tips are: number 1 is the overall one, right? Don't stop listening, and realize you may have to let your story or your opinion go. And, that's okay. You might get something better. The second one is, if it's important, give yourself a physical reminder. Cross your fingers, pinch yourself, whatever it is. The third one is to choose a word that will help you remember what your story is so that you can continue listening. All right, guys. So these are my tips for today. Remember, if you want to practice listening, right, Exactly what we were talking about today. You want to practice listening to conversations where multiple people are speaking, three or more people are speaking. Get in on our Conversations and Coffee, where we talk about so many different fun things. And it's really, really fast, right? So, this is going to give you that really special experience listening and thinking, like, oh, what stories could I tell? How would I jump into the conversation? You can get so much over here. You're going to be learning vocabulary, idioms, listening strategies. You're going to get quizzes, transcripts. Oh my gosh, it's great. So that is our Conversations and Coffee. So to get that, go to allearsenglish.com/fast, F-A-S-T, allearsenglish.com/fast, F-A-S-T. All right, guys, happy listening. I will see you next time. Bye.